Hey everyone, welcome to another deep dive with us. Today we're going to dig into the world of fintech with this really interesting company, Finix.
Yeah, they're doing some really cool stuff.
Yeah, they're not just like another payment processor though, right? They're
Mhm.
completely changing how businesses handle like payments at a fundamental level.
Yeah, what's fascinating to me about Finix is they're tackling this pain point that I think most businesses don't even realize they have, which is, being stuck with these one-size-fits-all payment solutions.
Right, like we've all used Stripe, PayPal, Square, those are the big players, right?
Exactly.
But as a business owner, you're kind of stuck with them. You're dependent on them taking a cut of every transaction.
Right.
And the article that we're looking at today, it's called Finix, How a Payment Startup is Disrupting the Financial Sector and What Female Entrepreneurs Can Learn.
Mhm.
And it really dives into how Finix is changing all of that.
Yeah, it's like imagine the difference between like always ordering takeout and finally learning to cook for yourself.
Ooh, I like that.
Finix provides the tools and infrastructure for businesses to kind of become their own payment facilitators. So
Yeah,
they're like the master chefs of their own financial data.
I love that. So instead of just handing over your money to like a third party,
Right.
you're in control, you're learning valuable skills, and you could even like potentially boost your profits.
Exactly. And that's, I think, what makes them so disruptive is this idea of, having that mastery over your own financial data.
Yeah.
You think about how a company like Amazon uses their payment data,
Mhm.
right? They're gathering all these insights on customer spending habits that their competitors, could only dream of.
Oh, absolutely.
Finix is allowing any business to tap into that level of knowledge.
Now that's what I call a competitive advantage.
Yeah.
But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, I think it's important to understand how Phoenix's approach is different.
Hmm.
They're all about this thing called embedded finance, right?
Yes, exactly.
What is that?
So it's about seamlessly integrating payment solutions directly into a business's existing operations. So instead of redirecting a customer to a third-party platform to make a payment, it all kind of happens seamlessly within the business itself.
So like how Uber handles payments, you don't even notice it happening. It's just like, boom, taken care of.
Exactly. It just works, and it makes the whole experience so much smoother for the customer.
Right.
But I think the real magic of Finix lies in its API-driven platform.
Okay.
Because they don't just offer a one-size-fits-all solution, right? Businesses can actually tailor everything from the checkout flow to the specific data that they collect. Like, let's
Wow.
say you want to offer loyalty points through your payment system. Finix can do that.
Oh, wow.
You want to integrate with a very new CRM. No problem.
So it's like they're giving these businesses a toolbox instead of just like a pre-assembled
That's
like
exact.
product.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool.
it is. And I think this level of customization is something that's particularly relevant to female entrepreneurs.
Really? Why is that?
Well, I think, women are often very naturally gifted at understanding those more nuanced needs of customers and offering that kind of personalized touch,
Yeah.
which is exactly what Finix enables.
Right. So it's not just about, catering to these individual preferences. It's
Mhm.
about having the power to adapt and evolve as your business grows.
Absolutely. And
It's
that's
like
the
they're giving you the building blocks and saying, all right, go create something amazing.
Yeah, exactly. And, that brings us to, I think, one of the key takeaways from Finix's own journey, which the article does a good job of highlighting. That's the importance of really understanding your market.
Yeah.
Like they saw this gap between what businesses needed and what the existing payment solutions were offering, and they really went for it.
Yeah. Okay. So like lesson one for everyone listening.
Yeah.
Put on your detective hat and really like dig deep into your market, right?
Hmm.
What are those pain points? What do people want that they're not getting? What's that missing piece of the puzzle that nobody else is even looking for?
Exactly. It's about finding those unmet needs and then like crafting this solution that's so perfect. It's like it was made for them, which is kind of what Finix does, right? They're letting businesses be the heroes of their own payment stories.
I love that. So we've got deep market knowledge that's like our base. What's the next layer in this entrepreneurial cake?
Well, the article points to Finix's focus on strategic alliances. Like they knew they couldn't be everything to everyone.
Right.
So they partnered with these major players in the tech and financial world, right?
Yeah.
And these alliances not only expanded their reach, but they brought in like valuable expertise. And I think it added a layer of credibility, especially as a startup trying to, shake up a really established industry.
Totally. It's like that saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Clearly, Finix knew that collaboration is key.
Absolutely. And this is something that I think resonates with a lot of women entrepreneurs especially.
Yeah, how so?
I think there's often this natural tendency towards collaboration, like building communities, building support systems.
Hmm.
It's recognizing that you don't have to have all the answers, but you need to find the right people to work with.
It's about surrounding yourself with a network of people who get your vision and can help you through those challenges,
Mhm.
because every entrepreneurial journey has them. Speaking of challenges, the article did mention some hurdles that Finix faced along the way. It wasn't all sunshine and roses, was it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Building any successful business is going to come with challenges, but especially when you're trying to disrupt an entire industry.
Oh, absolutely. It's like you're trying to navigate a maze.
Right.
You have a general idea of where you're going, but there are going to be wrong turns, dead ends, all sorts of obstacles.
Right.
And the article points out a couple of those pitfalls that Phoenix was able to avoid, thankfully.
Okay.
And I think there are some really valuable lessons there for any entrepreneur.
Okay, so what were these entrepreneurial traps we need to watch out for?
The first one trips up a lot of startups I see, especially in the financial world,
Okay.
and that's compliance. Like the
Yeah.
regulations around payments are so complicated.
It's really easy to miss something important, especially when you're trying to move fast and shake things up.
Yeah, it's like you're trying to build a rocket ship, but you're also trying to learn rocket science at the same time.
Exactly. And Finix really understood early on that compliance wasn't just some box to check.
Right.
It was critical to their whole, long-term success.
Yeah.
They made sure that their platform was built from day one to meet all those regulations. And I think that not only kept them out of trouble, but it also really built trust with their customers.
Right, because knowing that your financial data is in safe hands is so important.
Absolutely.
Okay, so compliance may not be the most exciting thing, but it's absolutely crucial.
Yeah.
What was that other pitfall?
So this one is all about user experience.
Okay.
You can have the most amazing, groundbreaking technology,
Right.
but if it's too hard to use,
Yeah, nobody's going to use it.
exactly. It's like having a fancy sports car with no steering wheel.
Right. All the power, but nowhere to go.
Exactly. And that's where I think design thinking is so important.
Yeah.
Finix understood that they needed to make their platform as intuitive and as user-friendly as possible.
Yeah.
They listened to feedback, they kept iterating on their designs, and they never forgot that their tech was supposed to be helping people, not making things harder.
So true. It's not enough to just build something that works. It has to be something that people actually want to use.
100%.
Yeah.
Because that can make the difference between, a loyal customer and someone who never comes back.
Totally. And this goes back to what we were talking about earlier, right?
Yeah.
Really understanding your market.
Exactly.
Who are you building this for? What do they need? What would make their lives easier?
Those are the questions you got to ask.
So it always comes back to the customer. Now, the article also mentioned that Finix was up against some pretty big competition, like those giant established payment processors. How did they manage to stand out?
I think it comes down to having a really strong, unique selling proposition.
Yeah.
What makes you different? For Finix, it was empowering businesses to be in control of their own financial data.
Right.
They were giving them the keys to the kingdom, not just processing their payments.
Yeah.
And that resonated with a lot of businesses who are tired of feeling stuck with those other providers.
It's about owning your story, like this is who we are, this is what we do, and this is why it matters.
Exactly. And finally, we can't talk about challenges without mentioning Finix's global expansion.
Right.
Navigating those international payment regulations, that's a whole other beast.
Yeah.
Every country has different rules,
Yeah,
different customs.
for sure.
It's almost like learning a new language for each country you expand to.
Wow. So it's not as simple as just flipping a switch and suddenly you're global.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Finix realized they had to be adaptable. Really listen to local experts and actually customize their platform to fit each market.
Talk about a crash course in global business.
Yeah.
So we've covered a lot of ground here today, everything from Finix's innovative approach to payments to the challenges they faced and the lessons they learned. As we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one thing you really want our listeners to take away from this?
I think the biggest takeaway is that success in any field really boils down to a few core principles. Understand your market, putting the customer first, always being willing to innovate and adapt, and of course having that resilience to overcome the challenges that will inevitably come up.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And for all of you listening who I know are already bursting with ideas and inspiration, I'm going to leave you with this final thought. How can you take a page from Finix's playbook? How can you empower your own customers, build those strategic alliances, and create a business that's not just successful, but truly game-changing? Something to think about. Until next time, keep those entrepreneurial wheels turning.